Nomar Mazara in the Texas Rangers organization. This kid is a beast. And,
Hmm.
I think he was his current 6'4" stature in the fourth grade. We've heard about this kid for a while now. He popped 13 homers, 62 RBI as an 18-year-old in single A Hickory. But he really made strides to be a more disciplined and all around hitter since then, as opposed to just a power guy. He's still just going to be 22 at the end of this April. So even though he's progressed through every level and the Rangers didn't necessarily rush him, they played it out steadily. It still feels like he's awfully young to be in the pros already. As I mentioned, he's just going to be 22.
Mm.
Uh, he proved the power is real as a rookie. His average wasn't necessarily as good as he's shown it can be. Um,
Mm.
he showed he can, center a ball and knock it out of the park at such a young age against major league pitching. Um, but the average was a little exposed. I fully expect him to improve on that 266 average and get closer
Mm.
to the 280 mark as a pro. I also expect 25 home runs and 85 RBI as his absolute floor. The kid
Yeah.
really could be that good. Those numbers alone would be awesome, and we'll put him in the top 30 outfielders. But I think he can even reach higher numbers than that as soon as this season. The crazy part is he's currently being drafted as the 48th outfielder, 207th overall, 17th round. I mean, it
Yeah.
feels foolish to say he will double his investment, but apparently that's where people are placing him in this market. So
Mm.
I think it's a no-brainer. You get Nomar Mazara everywhere you can, and if you can reach for him in the 15th round, it's still a steal. So I'm all in on Mazara this year. I'm curious what Ralph's take is.
Yeah, man. And that was the first thing that I saw. I love Mazzara. I was high on him last year when he came up. I was one of the few people beating the drum saying this kid is not going down. He's staying up. He's going to be one of the best young players in the major leagues. I actually made some trades actually in the expert league for Rasball with Gray Albright that was much talked about, where I ended up getting Jose Abreu and Mazzara for Todd Frazier. It worked out really well on my behalf. Got to toot my own horn there. But yeah, I love this kid. I mean, and the fact that he's going, as you said, 207, 206 overall, yeah, is a steal, especially when you consider the numbers, the sort of power that he flashed. And I want you to look at what his average home run distance was. This guy didn't hit any cheapies. He was one of three players that had three or more home runs go travel 450 feet or more. The only other two guys that are even on that list are Giancarlo Stanton and Carlos Gonzalez. So that's some pretty heady company when you consider that he's 21 years old. We haven't even seen the power peak yet. In terms of the type of hitter he is, you hit the nail on the head. This is a guy that can hit for average. This is a guy that should hit 300 most years of his career. He was very young last year. Came up at 20, played most of the season at 21, and he hits the ball to all fields. So he spreads it around. He's not a pull guy. Which always keeps his, we talked about in a lot of different episodes. It's going to keep his average high. Doesn't strike out much. At 19.7% K percentage, which is phenomenal when you consider the fact that he's 21. There's very few guys in all of baseball that could do that as a 21-year-old. I expect that to probably get even better. He had decent walk numbers as a 21-year-old. 6.9% walk rate. That could probably even improve a little bit because he is very patient at the plate. But not overly patient. So he has a good balance in terms of, he's not just waiting on everything. He's not swinging at everything, but he waits for his pitch. He's got good pitch recognition skills, which is the biggest skill that a hitter can develop at a young age. That could be a precursor of future success. I think he has that. He's got the good line drive rate, 21.4% in his first big league season. The only thing that I have with Mazara is that he hits too many grounders, but I think with the kind of contact that he makes, just a little bit of a tweak with his swing, this guy could, put the ball in the air more frequently, probably hit for more power, especially there in Arlington. I think the sky's the limit. This could be the steal of the draft this year. In your redraft leagues, if you're getting this guy at 200th overall, you are stealing him from the other guys in your leagues. He's probably going to be your third, fourth, fifth outfielder. I mean, God, if you can get him, at the back end of your outfield, and let's say he bumps up a little bit, hits 280, as you said, 25 homers, 85 RBIs. That's an absolute steal. At that price, I'm probably going to own Mazara everywhere.
Yeah, the problem with him is going to be in dynasty leagues because he's still so young. You're probably not going to be able to get him for cheap,
No.
even though the redraft market is saying, he's on the cheap side. But if
Mhm.
you're in like a keeper league where you're trying to determine between, whatever, 5 keepers, 3 keepers, 10, whatever number of keepers you're trying to decide between, and it's a league that you can trade for other people's keepers depending on the round and et cetera. Again, anything between rounds 10 and 17 where he's going is a bargain. That's just the kind of juice this kid has. He's already shown the power can be real. He came up. The average was high initially. It kind of tailed off and cooled off a little as he started getting a little exposed to major league hitters. But again, this was as a 20, 21-year-old. So um, you know, I fully expect him to figure it out and get back to what he showed, the discipline as a hitter. This was a kid that was all, thought to be this kid is going to hit. It's just, will he figure out how to be more than a power hitter? And he has at every level
Yeah.
over the last couple of years. So I don't expect that to die out.